Hey everyone, this is Jesus of Jesus Gaming. Today we are finally diving deep into the massive leaks from Game Freaks that have been shaking the gaming world because one, many of the gaming industry and fans will expect that one of the most important first-party studios of Nintendo, the developer of main Pokémon line of games and mainly a big part of the Pokémon company, will be Hacker's secure entity. 2, there were some big surprises from press in the past. And 3, I know we are almost 2 weeks by the recording of this, but I wanted to make sure that there were enough dissected data from the leaks to make a proper, just a single video. This and that you probably might not see everything outside of the description, and probably some footage contained here in this video probably are unrelated, and this is because of the purpose of not getting DMCA'd by Nintendo and obviously have this video to be online as much time as possible. So what's the big deal with these leaks? Well, it all started with a massive data breach that exposed over 20 years worth of internal documents and files from Game Freak servers, the developers behind the Pokémon series. This leak has revealed a ton of information about past game, future projects, and even some never before seen designs and details. But before entering into it, how this hacking happened? It has been strongly suggested that the hackers managed to have access to the sacred and secret Nintendo's development studio via an employee failing to avoid a phishing scheme which compromises credentials. And the belief is that the hacking occurred as early as August 2024, and it was more than 1 terabyte of data exposed or stolen, including sensitive information about 2,600 current and former employees. This breach also includes confidential business information and internal documents. Game Freaks already has apologized to fans and all the employees with their respected information being leaked, and they're in the process of mitigating the data stolen. Which this is the unfortunate part, as there is a possibility that leaked information get further leaked, and personal information should never be a merchandise to make money. Definitely, it is a massive leak that has certainly stirred up quite a bit of attention in the gaming community. Now, we are going to focus only on the gaming aspect of the leaks, and one of the highlights of the leaks is the early designs of Pokémon characters and regions. We're seeing concepts that never made it into the final games, and some of them are absolutely mind-blowing. One standout is the Mega Jinxes concept, which featured a more elaborated and fluffy design compared to the original Jinxes. The designers clearly put a lot of effort into this version, but it ultimately didn't make it the cut for Pokémon X and Y. Another intriguing piece is the early concept of slaking, which includes some rather unusual lore that has sparked a lot of memes and jokes online, which we'll talk about that later. In general, these leaks offer a unique glimpse into the creative process behind Pokémon and show how some ideas evolve or maybe don't from initial concepts to final products. It is fascinating actually to look at the behind scenes works and everything that goes creating these beloved games. Imagine if some of this design has made it to the official games. The leaks also includes detailed information about upcoming projects, including a new massively multiplayer online game called Synapse, which is being developed in collaboration with ILCA2, and fans are buzzing with excitement and hoping to get more information in the future. Also, the leaks include source codes and beta designs of some Pokémon games, and these are the most captivating one. The source code for Pokémon Heart Gold, Soul Silver's Black 2 and White 2 has been part of the leak, which will probably be seeing a lot of mods and fan projects in the future, as this source code pretty much are the bare bone to begin new gaming projects and independent development for Pokemon games. Obviously, those who are going to design these mods or fan projects or fan game need to be extra careful with Nintendo's lawyers. Also, there have been early Pokemon design as part of the leaks, actually offers a fascinating glimpse into the creative process and the evolution of Pokemon characters. Likewise, this includes several Pokemons that were considered but ultimately not included in the games are part of the leak content, showcasing different styles and abilities that were explored during the meetings. Of course, there are details of future projects, including the 10th generation Pokemon, codenamed Gaia. Codenames and early concepts for the next generation of Pokémon games referred as Gaia has been leaked. This includes potential new features and gameplay mechanics. Also, other of the biggest surprise and quite shocking from a kid-first company are some unpublished lore and dark stories. And one of the most controversial aspects of the leak is the unpublished lore documents. These stories, which were never intended for public release, include a dark and disturbing tales about the history of Pokemon and humans. The unpublished lore and dark story leaked from Game Freak have certainly stirred up quite a bit of controversy and intrigue. Here's a deeper look at one of the most notable revelations. One of the most shocking stories involves humans and Pokemon having a hybrid children. For instance, there's a tale about a woman who is impregnated by a Slakoth after being attacked by a Vigoroth. The story ends with her giving birth to a baby Slakoth, revealing that Slakoth are indeed half humans. Another disturbing story involves a girl who gets lost in the woods and is taken in by a Typhlosion. The Typhlosion feeds her with special berries and makes her forget her family so that she becomes his wife. The girl's father eventually finds her and kills the Jesus Christ, the Typhlosion, and the girl later gives birth to a child, revealing that, as in the case of the previous league, that Typhlosions are also part human. Other stories display violence and unsettling scenarios, such as a man being gifted a baby by an octillery, who grows up to use a powerful sword to torture a wild Usarins until they both died in battle. These stories are structured like a classical myth, but contains elements that are quite dark and out of place for a typical family-friendly Pokemon franchise. And maybe there was a time or a time frame that maybe Pokemon was trying to attract a more mature audience, but I think that this idea needs to be just shelved and maybe deleted. Of course, as you will expect for this kind of situation, the leaked stories have sparked a lot of memes and jokes online, with fans finding the content bizarre and as expected. Many are treating these stories as if they were part of a twisted fanfiction rather than a fictional lore, with some fans arguing that these stories were never like to be meant to be part of the official canon. And I agree. More about the upcoming projects in these leaks. There's the information about the next Nintendo console or the Switch 2 or Ounce 4. Another mention about the successor of the Nintendo Switch were referred, and there were concept arts which showcase the Nintendo's ability to stand up for itself with his new redesigned body. And also we got a glimpse of what will be the next generation of docking station for connecting the successor of the Nintendo Switch to a television. Of course, we can't talk about Pokémon without TV and movies adaptations. Plans for a new anime series and live-action adaptations were also part of the leaks. This includes a sequel to Detective Pikachu and other potential projects that may or may not see the light of the day. Also, the leaks document provide insight into internal discussion and designs meeting at Game Freak, as stated before. These documents reveal the decision-making process behind game mechanics, character designs, and storyline. It's a rare look into the creative process of one of the most secretive game developers in the industry. I mean, the scope of this leak is enormous, and it certainly caused a stir in the gaming community. While it's fascinating to see these behind-the-scenes details, it's also a reminder of the importance of cybersecurity and respecting the privacy of individuals and companies. But it's not just about the new stuff. The leaks have also given us a peek into the development process of all the games, revealing scrap ideas, early prototypes, and even internal discussion about games mechanics. It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look of how Pokemons were made in the past. This includes more remakes of Pokemon games, including the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire inspired by the Game Boy Advance generation, Green Leaf Fire Red from the OG Game Boy First generation, and Pokemon Emerald. All of them had their source code as part of the leak information that includes both use and in-use idea, showcasing different styles and ability that were explored during development. So yes, expect new mods and also more independent and fan games. Overall, these leaks have provided an unprecedented look in the inner workings of Game Freaks and the Pokemon franchise. While it's exciting for fans, it's also a huge breach of privacy and security for the developers, as I want to insist on that. It is obvious to say that this will mean that Game Freaks and Nintendo needs to reassess on how to preserve data and maybe some of the explored ideas for future games. now will need to be reevaluated again if part of the mitigation is to actually have the leagues not nailing all the future plans that might have been already revealed. Quite honestly, as a gamer, I'm a little surprised that something that served as an example of never say never came from Game Freak, Nintendo, and especially something dedicated or directly from Pokémon itself. To me, it's a proof that Pokémon is still one of the most important franchises of Nintendo, and I was dare to say next to Super Mario Brothers. But I disagree that leaks always includes employees' information and become kind of a part of the objective, taking in context on the operation scheme of this type of hacking. But just making a leak and a hacking about anything related to Pokemon, I think it's a testament on how valuable Pokemon franchise is for the gaming industry and for many generations. While this is it for today's video, I believe that there are more things that are waiting to be revealed, and if it happens, of course a second video will be made. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on this situation, or what leaks actually caused the most of your attention. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Game Freak's leaks, give us a thumbs up and share it with your fellow Pokemon fans, and don't forget to hit the subscribe for more content like this. This was Jesus from Jesus Gaming. Thanks for watching. Health, success, and happy gaming.